This is going to be a particularly hard video to make, but I have talked to a lot of people about it, and they've all told me to make it, and I struggled with it for a while. So here goes nothing. Forewarning for my friends and family, this is a tough video. If I start crying, I'm sorry. And if anybody feels like they need to look at me in a different way after hearing this video, that's on you. But I'm not the person that I used to be. So everybody, I'm sure, is aware of 22 a day. 22 veterans take their lives every single day. On October of 2022, I, Christopher Johns, tried to take my own life. Now, I've heard it for a very long time of, if you take your own life, it's the bitch way out. I mean, you can think what you want, but I've been there. I remember what it was like before. It was almost like I was drowning, and I was just fighting to breathe. I couldn't think of anything else. My mind would not slow down. My mind would not stop. It was just pain. That's all I felt was pain. And I was a full-blown alcoholic before that particular night. I had planned it out. I knew what I was going to do. I knew how I was going to do it. I just needed to get everything to do it with, and I did. And I still have what we'll call the gun. I'll show it to you here in just a second. Before that night, so let's go back from the beginning. So I have PTSD. I've been diagnosed with it. Never get rid of it, just something you have to live with. So in August of 2021, I found somebody very important to me dead. I was supposed to go drop my kids off that morning and let them hang out. I slept in. My kids came and got in bed with me. And one of the big questions I'll live with for the rest of my life is, why didn't I get over there sooner? Maybe I could have done something. I've fought with that for a very long time. And I just keep getting told that it was his time. But it's still going to stick with me forever. So that night, after I made all the phone calls to his family, I told everybody, I went outside and I just cried. And I called my mom and I cried. That night, I sat down at the kitchen table and I just turned all my emotions off right then. I didn't want to feel anything else like that. I didn't want to feel love towards anybody. All I wanted to do was feel hate and anger at myself and the world and just everything. So for an entire year, I was just angry, upset, and just, if you saw me smiling, it was a fake smile. I did what a guy told me was a Hollywood impersonation. Behind closed doors, I was one person. Out in the real world, I was somebody else. And behind closed doors, I was not a good person. I was yelling at my kids. I never hit them. But I was screaming. Boy, I screamed. And so before this, a lot of people had told me that I needed to get help, and I was trying to get help, and I was talking to psychiatrists and I was talking to psychologists, but nothing was working. And my mom actually pulled me outside one day and she dug into me pretty good, but it was warranted. She needed to, but I still didn't listen. I didn't listen to her. I didn't listen to anybody, because in my mind, I had it under control. Like, I could take care of it. So October 2022 comes around, and like I said before that, I had been a full-blown alcoholic. I had been, I'm not going to show the labels, but I had been drinking one of these a day. Full mason jar of liquor. October rolled around. I had it planned. I knew what I was going to do. So I bought this. And again, I'm not going to show the label, but this is a bottle of 150 proof alcohol, and I drank down to here. And then I torched another bottle of 90 proof that is that exact same size, and I inhaled a bottle of pills like this. And in the bottle, I used to get kidney stones. In the bottle was hydrocodone, oxycodone, Norco, anything, a very high pain medication was in the bottle, and I swallowed them all. And I woke up the next morning. I don't know how I woke up. I don't know. But that was kind of the wake-up call. I kept struggling throughout then, but it was just something had to change. So, and that was the time where I felt like my life was just over with. Like there was nothing else for me. And I tried. I didn't succeed. Thank God on that one. But I got a new psychiatrist here in Clarksville, and his name is Novus Behavioral Health, Vincent Proctor. His name is Vincent Proctor, and he told me about a place in Texas for veterans, and they treated PTSD and depression. So in December, they put in a referral for me to go to this place in San Antonio, Texas, and I'll do a video of it, of where it was, what they did, and everything for me. That place saved my life. And Vincent told me before I went that it saved his life. And Vincent is a psychiatrist here in Clarksville who did 22 or 23 years in the Army as a medic. So I trusted him. And thank God I did, because I went to this place in Texas, spent 28 days, and every question that I ever had was answered fully. And before I left, I told my two boys, because I won't lie to my kids. I'm not going to lie to them about anything. And I told them, I said, January the 7th, that night, I saw my kids and I said, hey, Daddy is going to get help. Because do you remember how Daddy used to yell and everything else? And he was always angry, and they would say, yes, Daddy. I said, well, I'm going to get help. Like, Daddy's not going to be here for a while. He's going to the doctor to get help. January the 8th, I got on a plane, landed in San Antonio, Texas, spent 28 days in an inpatient facility at my own will. And I could not say enough about the people at Laurel Ridge in San Antonio. It was great. And it was in that place that I learned what I wanted to do with my life. So I left there a completely different person. Like, it took me about 3 weeks to kind of get back into the rhythm of things, but I don't drink anymore. And I don't care if you drink. I am not going to judge you about anything. But I personally don't drink. And I keep this bottle as just a reminder of, no, I haven't drank since October of last year. Nothing. And I'm not going to. And again, no judgment if you do. I have been to, I don't know how many bars to be everybody's designated driver, but I'm not going to drink. I drank water the entire time. I went to a wedding not too long ago and I drank water the entire time. It was an open bar, but I drank water. And one of the reasons that I believe that 22 a day exists is because veterans want to talk to somebody. We do. We really do. But it just seems like we can't. It felt like to me that I was standing in a room screaming at the top of my lungs and nobody cared. And it just felt like I was drowning, like I was fighting to take every single breath. Nothing worked. And one of the reasons that I didn't reach out to people was because everybody has something going on in their life. Everybody has issues. And we just feel like if we talk to somebody about it, that we're just being a burden. Like, we know you have stuff going on. Like, why would we burden you with what we've got going on? And there is a place, I'm going to release the number in the next video, of a place that I called and helped me out. But guys, hear me out. You are not going to burden me. If you want to call and talk to me, email, chat, I don't care. It will be between me and you. I'm not going to tell anybody else. But the mindset of being a burden has got to go away. It's got to go away, and you're going to have to feel. I learned that the hard way. I sat in a room and read my autobiography in front of a bunch of strangers and cried like a 2-year-old. And would do it again. I have the autobiography here. You've got to feel. When you turn your emotions off and you don't feel anything, you're just going to hurt yourself and everybody else. But you've got to feel it. No matter how hard it is. I mean, no matter how much it hurts, you're going to have to feel. And that was my biggest thing. The first week that I was at the rehab center, I cried like a kid at the sink because that woman just read my mail. But I came back from that place knowing what I want to do with my life now. 35 years later, I know what I want to do with my life, and it's to save as many lives as I can. So if you're a veteran and you need anything, you're not going to burden me. I've been there, brother. I tried, but I'm here today. So